Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Reborn Football Podcast. I'm Tans and I'm here with
Fuego.
And this is, if we like to say, maybe season two, episode 1 of our podcast, first episode of the 2024-25 football season. Obviously, we have been talking about doing the video. We did make that promise to ourselves last episode after the Euros that, we would, try and make this happen. And we thank God that we've been able to make this happen. So, as usual, for anyone who's new or hasn't watched in a while, before we get into the football portion, we like to start with our verse of the episode. So I'll let Fuego take it away with our verse of the episode.
Yeah, so today's verse of the episode is Proverbs 16 verse 3, and I'll read here. This is the New Living Translation. So it says, commit your work to the Lord, and then your plans will succeed. So this is a pretty short verse, pretty simple verse, but speaks volumes, and you can go a few different ways with the verse, but I would kind of like to look at this vision of Reborn Football as kind of like an example of that. The idea here is that you kind of include God in your plans, and God is gonna, I want to say, prosper your plans, but like when you have a vision and you kind of confirm it that it's from God, or that you have something that you aspire to achieve. For example, this is a vision that started with Tannerate almost 2 years ago at this point. But when you commit your ways to God, He will lead you, He will guide you, He will prosper you. And, it's crazy to kind of think back on, the last year and a half or 2 years and how far this podcast has come from, technical difficulties, times where the laptop is crashing, it's not recording, or we lose a totally good episode or something like that. You kind of just need to move on and trust God, trust the process, because I think we have a few episodes that would have been really, really nice to kind of drop and release and listen to and all of that stuff, but obviously it wasn't meant to be. And fast forward to now, even with circumstances and kind of our personal lives in terms of being busy and schedules and all that, we're still able to get this done. And obviously that's glory be to God, you know what I mean? So commit your ways to God, and He will definitely sort you out.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. And obviously thinking back to, I've had this idea of, doing a podcast for quite a while. Anyone that knows me very well will know that I've had football media before. This is not my first foray into, trying to do football media. I do have an old YouTube channel, but I kind of thought, a couple years ago, I was like, I feel like this is a better way for me to kind of, put my football, my love of football out to the world. And initially, it was just going to be a football podcast. There are a few people out there that would know that I was, trying to plan with. And I remember just one day, because me, people, if anyone that knows me knows that I don't really dream. Like, as a Christian, there's people that dream a lot, have loads of dreams and stuff like that. I don't really dream. But I remember at this specific point around like February, I think, or January last year, I was praying a lot. Like, I'm not really, even though I speak about God, and all that, my prayer life isn't really always where I'd want it to be. But at this point, my prayer life was really strong. I was praying, and I just got this really specific dream. Like, it's weird. You think that God kind of like does generic for everybody. But I got this really specific dream. It was so weird. It was like, it was just me. It was just God just talking to me, saying that you should add me into your podcast. And it was so specific. It was like, I couldn't misplace it. I couldn't ask God for, please, sometimes you get things and you're like, oh God, give me a sign, show me that this is really true. It was so like, I have to do this.
Undeniable.
Like I have to do this. So I don't know how we're going to put it together. Even the idea, I haven't really seen it, too much out there, but it's just something that we had to do. And this was the original vision. Obviously the audio, we just wanted to get it started, because it's very easy to procrastinate, especially procrastination is not of God. We just wanted to get it going, get the plan going, this is our way of trying to spread the word of God to as much people as we can, first and foremost, and then indulging in our love of football. But going back to the verse, committing your plans unto God, there's been a lot of prayer, a lot of a lot of prayer going into this, getting to this point where we have our video podcast. And yeah, we can only thank God. And in essence, kind of our lesson for today is that always try and, trust in the Lord, commit to God in whatever it is that you're doing. And by God's grace, God will always, look out for your better good. Even it might not be for us, we're lucky in this stage where we had a vision and it was quite clear, kind of like almost from the start. But, it can be where you might not be sure. You just have to trust in the Lord and know that, whatever it is that you're planning, it might not come out the way you expected, but it will come out in a way that, God aligns for you and it will be good for you.
100%. I didn't even intend to talk about the podcast like that in reference to the verse, but it's just the way it happens, you know. And obviously, glory be to God, because it's been a long
journey,
long time coming. But and obviously, you can see behind us, this isn't a studio, but it's kind of our own version of a studio. So obviously, thank God for the resources as well to kind of get this set up. So obviously, new optics. You can see us. You can see what we look like.
It's what a lot of people that we've talked about this show have said that this will allow
something
us to
add.
improve.
100%.
It's tough. It's not easy. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be even trickier. Again, we're both advancing in college, and this is more, but we're ready for the challenge.
100%.
And this is something that we enjoy, and we want to put in that effort. Not just for us, but for you guys as well.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we'll go into football. There's a few different things that, like, obviously a lot has happened between the last episode and this episode, because the last episode, I think, was our review of the Euros.
Yeah. The plan was to kind of have it, perfectly ready for the start of the Premier League season, but, it's very important, quality over quantity.
100%.
We were not ready this time 3 weeks ago. Just wanted to make sure that everything was in place for us to try and have the best quality, possible from the get-go with our video. So, yeah, I mean, we've had 3 rounds of Premier League fixtures. We've had the PFA Awards. We've had the Ballon d'Or, where we're in the middle of an international break now. So we've had a good bit, and then some, good few transfers as well. Obviously, Mbappe went to Real Madrid. That happened during the Euros. Like, that was confirmed before the Euros. Obviously that, that became, I think he did his, he would have done his presentation in July.
Yeah, I think
in
it
July.
was in July.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, but the main talking point as of for the moment is most definitely the Ballon d'Or list that came out yesterday at the time of recording. Time of recording today is the 5th of September.
Yep, 5th of September.
And the Ballon d'Or list came out yesterday. So on a more personal note, if you don't know already, he supports Man City. I should have worn my Arsenal shirt today, but I support Arsenal. And on a personal note, we both got 4 Ballon d'Or nominees each.
Well, we didn't get 4 Ballon d'Or nominees each.
Isn't it? You just got 4. Did you just get 5?
1 sec.
It was 4 each. Because I remember seeing that.
I'm just having a look for the Ballon d'Or nominees on the laptop.
It was because I remember them saying that only Real Madrid had more than us, and we had 4.
I think Real Madrid had 7.
Yeah, only Real Madrid had more than us, because we had Saliba, Saka, Odegaard, and Rice. Right, you had Foden, Rodri.
I'm gonna get it up now.
Wasn't it Foden, Rodri?
I'm gonna get it up now because there's. What's this?
Oh, that's 2022. That's 2022.
I'll pull it up in a sec. But Foden, Rodri, De Bruyne.
Did De Bruyne make it? I don't think De Bruyne made it. Yeah, just allow him to look it up. But anyway, from I remember, Man City had 4. We had 4. But talking about our 4, I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans, we know that it's been tough for us for the past few years. Before, like, 2022 was when we really started seeing things go up for us. To have 4 Ballon d'Or nominees, 4 players who were considered, part of the top 30 best players in the world over the past season, because they changed it from year to season. It's about like the 2023-2024 season. Yeah, and I think now
that's gonna do justice to the actual
to the
award and to the players who actually deserve it at that point as well. Okay, so I think you're right to say it. So City have Ruben Dias, Phil Foden, Erling Haaland,
and Rodri. Yeah,
and then Arsenal have Saka, Saliba,
Odegaard, and Rice. and Rice. Yeah.
Rice is getting a Ballon d'Or nomination. Is a bit questionable to me, but hey, look, that's just me.
Look, we're looking at this list now. So there is Jude Bellingham expected. He's probably like top two favorite.
Yeah.
Him and Vinicius. That's who everyone's been talking about over the past couple of years, over the past few months. Valverde, Granit Xhaka, Artem Dovbyk from Roma. Granit Xhaka. I mean,
the way that I was looking, I was like, okay, it's interesting that he got his Ballon d'Or nomination post Arsenal, but obviously Leverkusen had a season, and it's hard to deny what they did.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, as a Nigerian, I know that Lookman was on that list as well. That's really happy for him. I've known about him since. I think I don't know if I knew him when he was at Charlton, but I certainly knew about him when he joined Everton from Charlton.
Okay, it's Everton.
So, he joined Everton from Charlton. Yeah, because he scored on his debut against you guys. I think Everton beat you guys 4-0. It was Guardiola's first season.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I remember that. I remember that. It was class. It was amazing to watch. But he scored in the last minute, and then obviously he went on a bit of a journeyman phase. But I mean, watching him light it up for Nigeria during AFCON this year was a pleasure.
Yeah,
and then the hat trick in the Europa League final to stop Leverkusen from doing the ultimate unbeaten season. I mean, that one of those goals, I think it was one with his left foot, just little step over and then bang into the top corner. Like,
the funniest thing was kind of a few months before that Europa League final, because funny enough, that Europa League final was in Dublin. I remember me and you were talking about, it's like, the tickets are way too expensive to be buying Europa League final tickets, even if, like, I think a lot of people were looking at it from the point of view that Liverpool were going to get to the final.
Yeah, we were talking about it.
That I do not want to see Liverpool fans on the streets.
I didn't want to be there, because like with the major finals, like the process kind of starts in like April, because I remember when Arsenal got to the quarterfinals, like I was like, okay, let me see, there's a possibility, so let me not, put my name in the hat and all that.
Yeah, let's see if we can go and all of that stuff.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure Liverpool fans were planning in the droves, because I mean, here Liverpool is huge.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And then all the Liverpool fans coming from Liverpool as well. Like Dublin would have just been a sea of red.
100%.
But yeah, Lookman's team, Atalanta, did not allow that to happen. It was Atalanta that beat them. I remember.
Yes, they beat them at home.
Yeah, 3-0 at home in that first leg.
Rather.
In that first leg, then I think whether it was 1-1 or something in the second leg, can't remember. But 3-0 at home in that first leg was crazy.
Interesting. Nico Williams is there as well, I guess.
And Yamal. Love a good wing pairing.
Youngest Ballon d'Or nominee,
Oh, most definitely. Oh, of course he would be. Yeah, of course he would be.
And then he's definitely going to win that Copper Trophy.
Oh, yeah, of course.
There's nobody else who could win it.
It's crazy because obviously he's 17, but like his Ballon d'Or nomination is based off what he achieved at the age of 16.
Which is crazy to think. Because, yeah, let's not even go into it because it's too much.
Looking at, Cole Palmer, very well deserved.
100%.
He had, wasn't it 22 goals and like 10 or 12 assists? I know he had 22 goals in the Premier League last season.
Yeah.
And I think either 10 or 12 assists as well. I mean, just, obviously there's people who talk about the penalties. I have talked about the penalties. But, just the level of finishing that he displays. He has even the finish. Chelsea beat Wolves 6-2 a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And the finish he had, just lobbing it over the goalkeeper. And then the nice little, relationship that he's developing with Noni Madueke out on the right. I mean, yeah, 100% deserved.
Yeah, and one thing there before we kind of move on from Cole Palmer, I was saying this, I think I was thinking to myself, or I must have said it to my brother earlier, that I have a feeling that Cole wouldn't have reached these type of heights if he had stayed at City, even if he had broken into that first team. Yeah,
because the thing is with football, I was even seeing it today that, a lot of football, even team sports in general, is about situation. The talent was always there, but is him going to Chelsea as what has allowed them to showcase that talent.
Yeah.
Because he obviously last season Chelsea went great. It was, it was the jokes, but it was Cole Palmer FC.
Yeah, it was.
It was Cole Palmer FC, and it allowed them to really blossom. But then, what really made me kind of like put the full stamp on his talent was me seeing him perform for England. Because, football, it's very easy to kind of like be, big fish, small pond. Where, for example, big example was Grealish back in the day. Amazing at Aston Villa, but situations have never truly suited for him outside of Aston Villa. He had some good performances for England, kind of like 2020, 2021, but it's never truly suited him outside of Aston Villa. But Palmer was still able to stand out, come off the bench, do well, and scored in the final, had the assist for Watkins' winner in the semi-final. So scored this penalty in the quarterfinal. Contributed so much. That it's not just big fish, small pond. Like, the talent is well and truly and established in this game. And the football game agrees with me.
And obviously, PFA Young Player of the Year, Premier League Young Player of the Year as well. So well deserved. And to be honest, I think Foden deserved his awards, but at the same time, I wouldn't have complained if Palmer had won either of those Player of the Year awards as well.
Yeah,
and he's still got time to win both if this season is the same as last season.
He can win Premier League Young Player this season.
21, isn't he?
He's 22. Yeah, he can still win Premier League Young Player this season because that's still 23, but he can't win the PFA. He can't. I would like 23 is too old because it was like it's if you're still 23 on the 1st of July. Before that season starts, so like they used to have like 24-year-olds. Like I remember like James Milner winning the PFA Young Player of the Year when he had like 6-7 years Premier League experience. And then, like that's not really what the award is for.
I know what you mean, because like even is it last year? No, it wasn't last year. Haaland's first season, he had just turned 23 or something like that. So like he turned 23.
It was not 21. He just turned 21.
How old is Haaland now? 24.
Haaland is 2000, isn't he?
He's 24 now.
He's 2000. No, his birthday is like mid-July.
Yeah. I don't even know when.
It's mid-July, isn't it? Something like that. He came in 2022. So he would have joined at 2021, but then turned 22 just before the season started.
Yeah, but he was eligible in his first year.
Season.
Yeah, and then Saka won it that year.
Yeah, but see, the PFA Young Player of the Year is also kind of about optics as well, because like, like if we're being objective, Haaland should have won the Young Player of the Year and the Player of the Year, but the optics, like the optics is it's kind of important for that award. That's why it's weird, in 2011, Bale won the senior award. No, 2011.
He won the senior award and then he won the junior and senior award.
Yeah, isn't it? But he was older when he won both. So it was just like maybe 2013, the optics were better for him to win both. But then in 2011, he was younger. He won the senior award, but then Jack Wilshere won the junior award. Not that Jack Wilshere wasn't deserving, but it just shows like kind of like the optics around that award. Like they don't want to vote for a player that they feel is like too old or even too good in a way.
I know what you mean, because if you're performing at a certain level, it's kind of like, okay, and you're performing at that level consistently, it's kind of expected of you.
Yeah.
So giving you the juniors award is not really.
Yeah. Even another example would be Ronaldo in 2007. He won the senior and the junior, but then the next year when he had a better season and he was still eligible for the junior, he only won the senior. It's kind of like his optics.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking at this list as well. I'm trying to find. Okay, maybe I want to touch briefly on Lautaro Martinez, top scorer in
Serie
A, won the Serie A. Top scorer in Copa America and won it as well.
America.
I think it's more so because there's nothing else there that he's not maybe higher up than you would have been, to be honest with you.
And also Champions League has a huge effect. I mean, everyone remembers him blasting over the decisive penalty for Inter against Atletico. I watched that live. I mean, Champions League is huge. He didn't turn up for his team in the Champions League. And then obviously, people kind of like, his performance in the World Cup is still kind of like in the memories. So, people would not want to give him the award. But I mean, he definitely has a case. I would say he would finish probably top 10, maybe even top 5.
I think he's top 10 at the moment.
I think his season is top 5 worthy if we're being objective.
But then who else is in that top 5 though? Because you got Vinny, Rodri, Bellingham.
Yeah.
and I can't even remember who's currently number 4 in the power rankings.
And like, your boy might get a top 5, honestly. Foden.
Nah, he's 9.
Actually, I won't lie. If it was before the Euros, Foden might have snuck a top 5, but that Euros performance probably brought him down. I won't lie.
Okay, power rankings. Let's see. Emi Martinez was nominated as well.
For the Ballon d'Or.
Ballon d'Or.
I thought it was nominated for the only the goalkeepers award.
Nah, he was nominated for both, and I think at this point, because there's a goalkeepers award, it's big for a goalkeeper to get nominated for the actual award as well.
Is Martinez gonna win the goalkeepers award? I don't know who's.
No, I don't think he'll win it. I think it's gonna be either who's there. I can't even remember who's there. We'll search up later, but that's not accurate.
Yamal fourth. Damn, that's high. But in international tournament years, they do take a really, really big precedent. It's weird. Like, I don't really agree with that, but I understand. But like, I don't know. Like, Yamal's, like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, Yamal's season at Barcelona was outstanding, but like, it wasn't Ballon d'Or, right?
No.
But obviously, he was arguably Spain's best player at the Euros, in the Euros that they went on to win. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, even though his season as a whole wasn't Ballon d'Or worthy, but obviously the Euros counts for a lot. So personally, I would have said maybe top 10. I think top 10 would have been valid, but I think 4 is a little high. I think 4 is a little bit high.
Sure, look, we'll see what happens at the end.
But he's got the
Copa.
The Copa, he's got that lockdown, absolutely
100%.
locked down. Like, that should be, in basketball they talk about unanimous. If they brought out the votes, like, that should be unanimous.
Nah, I think it will be, to be honest. One thing I found interesting, I was looking through that list and I saw, that winger that City just signed, Savinho. I don't know. I'm confused.
He got nominated for the Copa.
He's been nominated for the Copa. I'm kind of. So I was like, what was it? I think I was saying it a few weeks after he signed. I didn't realize he was 20. The guy is 20 years old. Mind you, he doesn't look like he's 20, but cool. He's 20. He's Brazilian, whatever. The guy's married at 20.
He's married.
That confuses me so much.
He's married.
But Copa nomination is not a small thing.
Enough,
you know what I mean?
God bless his marriage, innit, man? But even just watching the first time, because I didn't really know much about him. All I heard about his transfer was that you guys were buying him from Girona, which is a club owned by City's owners.
So
I just this must be a new form of money laundering that we didn't hear about. But when I seen him, you guys played against Chelsea first game. When I seen the clips, I was seeing Mahrez. Everyone was talking about it.
No,
it was actually scary. Like, I thought people were over exaggerating, and then I actually watched the videos. Him wearing the number 26 as well.
Yeah.
I was literally watching Mahrez.
And the thing is, I was like, maybe it will take him a little bit of time to acclimatize. I watched the FA Cup, the Community Shield final, and I was like, this guy is good, but is he good enough to give someone like, who's it that I was even thinking that he would drop?
Is it not Foden really in that position?
But I'm thinking that Foden maybe played more so in the middle when KDB is not on, and then that would free up space for either Bernardo, so it would be Bernardo Doku or Bernardo Grealish. And then obviously Oscar Bob is now injured, but he would also be there for competition. And I was thinking that this guy is going to bench someone. I really feel like if he stays 100% fit, he's going to bench someone. Doku kind of has a place over Grealish, in my opinion, right now. Now, Grealish played really well in his last game, but this guy could actually bench a winger and be a starting winger at 20 years old in his first season in England, being relatively unknown coming in, which is crazy to think about when you think about the caliber of players that City has at this point.
That's what unearthing gems.
I don't understand, man. And this one is kind of different because it's not like they collected him from South America. This is not a Julian Alvarez story. This guy was playing in Europe. Like, he was at Girona on loan from Troyes. So he was with a French club playing in Spain. You know what I mean? Which interesting one.
Another story that came out today, because I'm just looking at Mbappe, Bellingham, looking at some of the conversations I've been seeing today, and what's it called? FIFPro, like the World PFA essentially.
Yeah.
Came out and they were like, no, like we're playing too much, like too many games, and etc. etc. And I didn't read the article because it was a paywall. Like there's so many paywalls on all these articles, and it was so annoying. I was literally about to read the article, but from the headlines, I seen something about they were bringing out some like arguments about how young players are playing too much and how big clubs are relying too much on young players. And I was just looking at Mbappe. I can see Bellingham on that list, Yamal, Vinny Jr., Foden, Haaland,
all of these men are
Saka,
under 25.
Verts, Nico Williams,
All
these,
under 25.
all these young players, and it's crazy because even obviously the talk, especially during the Euros, people was watching, we was watching Mbappe, and we weren't really liking what we were seeing. Like it's like is he regressing already? He's 25.
I guess
he's 26 this year. He's played an unbelievable amount of football, and that's the worry. That's the worry for fans of Real Madrid fans, England fans with Jude Bellingham. That's the worry of Arsenal fans with Bukayo Saka. That would be the worry with Barcelona fans for Lamine Yamal. And I mean, Barcelona, perfect case study for this over the past few years with obviously Pedri. That what they did to Pedri, that was child abuse. Don't know why they did that. Gavi now, obviously, Ansu Fati. And then I think there was one young player, was it Kubarsi or one, I don't know, some young like centre back or something that tore their ACL a couple weeks ago.
No, it wasn't Kubarsi. I don't remember what the guy's name was, but he's like 18.
Yeah,
very young.
So this dependence on young players, it's happened, it's not new, but it's becoming a little bit more common.
I think maybe it's becoming more common.
Even mainly for United now starting to head in that direction. I think when I watched, just sorry for cutting you off there, but when I watched either his first or second game this season, because I watched both of their first 2 games, they were something like he started Man United's last 24 Premier League games or something like that.
And the guy wasn't even in the first team this time last year.
Yeah, literally.
I don't know. It's the load is a lot for a younger body, 100%, unless you've been conditioning yourself since you were like 10, which a lot of players haven't been doing. So the real conditioning kind of starts 13, 14 when they're in the youth ranks. And if you think about it, Menu was I think he's turning 19 next month or the month after.
No, he's already 19.
Oh, he's already 19.
I think he turned 19 in the summer.
He was 14 5 years ago. Yeah. That's now 5 years sounds like a long time. It kind of is a long time, but if you think 5 years ago now, it's not.
It's not that long ago.
And in 5 years' time,
he will still only be 24.
Exactly. Like it's difficult to kind of quantify now, but you know that the narrative, if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah.
They prefer an 18-year-old who is more mobile than a 28-year-old or 29-year-old and can do more on the ball and can give that player a run for his money in the starting 11. They'll play him over him any day, and that's the issue. They keep playing, and it's not helping the fact that the football calendar is getting larger.
Denser. I mean, they have the Club World Cup, the new Club World Cup,
and new European competitions as well.
Champions League is fine. It took a while to kind of like understand the new Champions League, obviously the league phase and everything, but it makes sense. We'll come back to that in a sec, kind of give that an explanation, because I know a lot of people were pretty confused. Even I was confused out myself. It took me a little while, but back to this Club World Cup. I mean, I don't know, like that's just weird. Like I really liked, especially because obviously Arsenal have never had the opportunity to play for a Club World Cup, but I think it's a really like it has a bit of a weird prestige to it. Like you get that. The gold, like the one you have now, and you get to play for that every year if you win a Champions League. But like now, FIFA have just
it loses its value at this point, and weird. Then it looks weird as well because it's like multiple clubs.
I only found it today that they're playing. I found out today that they're playing it in the summer. Like they're playing it. Like I think Cole Palmer and 1 or 2 other players didn't get included in Chelsea's Conference League squad today. Like they're for the group stage, and they said the reason is because Chelsea have a long season ahead that could go to July 2025 because of the Club World Cup. I did not know that.
Yeah, I actually didn't know when it was going to be played either.
I did not know that.
But I think it's just a funny thing. The Club World Cup loses its value. This patch loses its value at this point because it's more than likely going to be, let me not say English club, but it's definitely going to be a European club. It almost always is, but the reason being the European club is so much stronger than the winners of the Asian Champions League and all of that stuff. But the idea is you need to be the best on your continent to be playing in that competition.
And that's the thing, because now they've made it so that, okay, you now have to play all these teams. You have to play 6 or 8 teams or whatever to win the tournament. I don't know what it is, but the old Club World Cup, yeah, okay, the European teams won it most of the time, but every continent in the world has I think some continents had to play from the quarterfinals.
Yes,
and then some continents play from the semifinals. But every country, every continental champion in the world has, can play only 3 games max and call themselves world champions. Like, I think, who was it that beat Chelsea in 2012? Wasn't it? I think it was Corinthians.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think Liverpool lost as well in 2005. I can't remember who it was that beat them. Not completely sure, but like, this is just, I feel like the European teams will win every single time.
Yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose of the Club World Cup, in my opinion. And I don't even remember what way they were choosing the teams that are going, because I know Dortmund are there, Chelsea are there, Arsenal are there.
No, we didn't make it.
Arsenal are there?
No. Chelsea are there, though.
I feel like it's the Champions League's winners for like the last 5 years, and then the same thing for all of those other... It's weird. I just hope for FIFA's sake that it bangs, because if it doesn't, people are going to be complaining about extra games in the calendar and all of that stuff. Looking
at these extra games, and I mean, it has an impact on the product as well, because you see when it gets to the end of the season, bro, these players are tired, man. And you can see it in they're not really fresh anymore. You can see it's a bit easier for them to get injuries over their career as well. I mean, going back to the Champions League, I mean, obviously, once again, the aim from the authorities was to make more money with having more Champions League games and having more teams playing against each other. And while, I'm not a fan of that for the players, actually looking at the phase itself without that lens, I think it's going to be decent. I just feel that maybe if they could have done something similar without having to add the extra games, then it would have just been perfect for like all sides, for the player sides, for the fan side. But from the purely fan perspective, it looks like it's going to be quite enjoyable.
It's going to be interesting. I think the whole home and away and the different pots and all of that stuff is great. Plus that playoff phase.
Yeah,
it's not a playoff to see do you stay in the Europa League. It's a playoff to see do you get to the knockout stages. It'll be interesting to see. I think those playoffs are going to be some of the best matches.
Yeah, I think they will. It's it still has some of its cons, because like, there's not really any incentive finishing 9th over 24th.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
As long as you're not in the bottom 6, you're cool.
Yeah, I think it's all, because obviously it's up to 36 teams now, Champions League. So just for anyone who's not completely sure, I'll just try to give a really quick rundown of how it works. So like, because this starts like now in like a week and a half. But so it's 36 teams now in terms of instead of the usual 32.
Was it 32?
Yeah, it was 32. It's 36 now.
I feel like it was 32.
It's 36. They added an extra 4. So it's like a league phase. So like there's no more groups. Everybody's ranked in one big 36 team league. The top 8 teams all qualify for the last 16 automatically. Then the next 16 teams from team 9 to team 24 will play each other in 2-legged ties, playoffs, to decide the remaining 8 teams that will play in the last 16. And then the last, I think, 12... from 20. The last 12 are again eliminated straight away. And one thing I'm actually happy that they got rid of is the whole drop-in competitions thing, because it's a bit of a reward for losing. I can't lie, especially that Champions League to Europa League drop. It's a little bit of a reward for losing, because okay, you've played badly, but you're now the favourites for a competition over teams that have actually played well and won points.
And some have even been playing since July, because don't forget that there are teams that have been doing playoffs. Like Shamrock Rovers are in the Conference League this year.
Yeah, they're playing Chelsea actually.
I wish that was in Tala Stadium. I
remember when we played Dundalk in the Europa League a few years back. That was hilarious. That was one of that was so funny. they couldn't play that in Oriole Park. They had to, I think they played the home game in Aviva Stadium. Yeah, it was Aviva Stadium.
Yeah, no, they could not play that
in Oriole Park.
Never.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks interesting. There will be games in January, which I like. I mean, January is a bit of a tough time, in terms of like the weather and all that. So be able to brighten up a few of those, weekdays in January. But I think that's interesting. But obviously on the player perspective, more games. You could, if say you were to, finish in the playoffs, obviously it's 8 group games now. You could possibly play, is it 17 games?
Oh, that's crazy.
To win the Champions League, your 8 group games, your playoffs if you need it, and then your 2 last 16, 2 quarterfinals, 2 semifinals,
they're double-legged,
and then your final. That is 17 possible games you could play to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
And then
but I think somebody like these new gen strikers are going to eat this up as well, though. I think we're going to see Champions League records broken now.
Yeah, inflation. They're like the real good ones, like guys like Haaland and Mbappe have a real nice chance now. That's to break Ronaldo's record. Because
Ronaldo's record was silly. I think he played 12 games and he scored 17 goals.
17. Oh man, 140 total. I think he done 17 twice.
So crazy.
I know he done. I know. I think did he do 17 twice? I know he done 17 in 2014. That's when he broke the record. But then kind of like that 2016, 2017, 2018
That's
time.
how the period in which Real Madrid won the 3 back-to-back.
Oh man, bro! Like not just the goals he was scoring, how important they were as well.
I think I saw a video a while back of he was trailing Messi by like 5 goals, but that was the year. What was it? The year that they wore the purple kit in the final.
2017.
He scored like 10 goals in the space of maybe 4 games.
I'm trying.
It was so funny.
I'm trying to remember who did they play in the quarterfinals that year.
I actually don't remember
they played. I know they played Atletico in the semifinals.
Yes. Yeah, I remember
I'm trying to remember who they played in the quarterfinals. Was it Bayern?
It could have been. It could have been. Yeah.
I'm not completely sure. But I remember, but there was this one specific run he had in either 2017 or 2018 where he just scored in almost every knockout game. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was insane.
No, it's
like
Fernando,
I'll be telling my kids about Noodle Hair Ronaldo, man. Honestly.
Yeah, no, but okay, yeah, Champions League will be interesting. We'll see what happens this year. I think even the league is looking interesting. The way that obviously Brighton and Arsenal shared points, and obviously there was a controversial thing there with Rice getting sent off in that match. But
yeah,
the importance of keeping a perfect record for as long as possible has become so much more than previous seasons. I don't even think this.
Thanks, Pat.
Sorry, but this isn't going to be a 2-horse race. I don't think so. More could actually come into it.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's too early to really make any judgments. We'll just have to see it. Only 3 games. City have looked really good, I must admit. The past couple of seasons, I will say that City don't really start amazing, look amazing, but City look good. Haaland looks particularly sharp, and you guys have, I think, Rodri and Foden didn't play your last game. So I mean, what does that say? What does that say for the rest of the league? As for Arsenal, haven't really hit top form, but we would have won comfortably if it wasn't for that Rice red card. But look, have to charge it, and I mean, just annoying that we have Rice suspended now for the North London derby after the break. So that's going to be tough.
Yeah, and Liverpool have started quite well.
Liverpool, yeah, they haven't conceded the goal.
Adjusting to this slot ball has been
absolutely slapped up United at the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Salah. It's crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, before I seen an old tweet today. Before Liverpool played Man United in October 2019 at Old Trafford. Before that game, Salah had never scored against Man United. And now it's a joke how much he scores against Man United. I didn't know. I thought it would have been his whole career just scoring against Man United.
Okay.
I did not know that. Like it got like there was a point where they were posting he's never scored against Man United.
That's so
Can
crazy.
you imagine?
Yeah, to the point where I think they said since 2020, he's like 5th top scorer at Old Trafford.
That's
That's a very interesting stat.
I seen that. Yeah, those are
Very interesting.
those are like that. That's reminding me of like Rooney versus Arsenal, Drogba versus Arsenal back in the day, man. Even Aguero to an extent. Random guys like Charlie Austin as well. Like Arsenal have had it bad, man. If we start that conversation today,
Yeah, not
we'll be here for a long time.
Yeah. It's been a good episode.
It's been a good episode. Yeah. Obviously you have to bear with us. Video's a whole different ball game. Yeah, but
I think today's been good though.
I think today's been good. Yeah, I think today's been solid. So I think we'll wrap it up there. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. We can actually say watching now.
Yeah, that's true.
Watching and listening, whatever you're watching it on, whatever you're listening it on.
Yeah.
This will be on YouTube. We're working on, TikTok, Instagram Reels, all that stuff there, but this will definitely 100% be on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
The audio will be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the usual things there, and all those links will be in the bio of whatever you're watching it from currently. Thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for listening, supporting, and I think I'll let Fuegos take us out.
Yeah, so I echo him. Thank you so much for supporting, listening, especially if you got this far. Obviously, we've been enjoying ourselves here. As he said, links will be in the bio description wherever you're listening or watching from. So thank you so much again, and we will see you guys in the next episode.